Dear students, today we are going to learn something about appreciation of the poem. But before we could go to the appreciation of the poem, let's have something about the word appreciation. Yes, everyone likes appreciation, whether it is you, me, or anyone. If you are doing something good, if you are doing something extraordinary, everyone seeks that appreciation. Appreciation is what? Appreciation are some of the positive words which we need in our life to make our life more pleasing, to make our way more comfortable. And if we are getting appreciation, we always try to do better in the future. So what do you mean by appreciation of the poem? See here. See, poetry appreciation is that attitude about poetry. We need to appreciate the entire poem. Some people flat out enjoy reading poetry. There isn't a single reason why people that enjoy reading poetry enjoy poetry. There is no reason. See, the way we like to hear songs, the way we like to play cricket, in that way some people like to recite the poetry, or they like to read or enjoy the rhythmic qualities of the poem. But these are in general things. Now in terms of technical things, now in board examination you will have a question on appreciation of the poem for 4 marks. So we will understand the poem, we will understand the appreciation from that perspective of board examination. Now what are the things needed for the appreciation of the poem? There are as many as 6 different points which we need to focus on. The first one is about the poem, poet, and the title. Then the theme of the poem. What is the theme of the poem? Central idea, in other words. Then the style of the poem, poetic style, the kind of language used by the poet, and poetic devices, means figure of speech, then rhyming words, all those things are there. Whether there are any special features in the poem, some lyrical qualities there, or the other features are also there. We will talk later on in detail. Then the next one is whether there is any message, any value, or the moral in the poem. Now generally poems are with 2 different meanings. One is surface meaning and the another one is deeper meaning. And deeper meanings are always with some message, value, or morals. But we need to get that deeper meaning of that particular poem. And last but not the least, another important factor is what your own opinion about the poem. Okay, fine, the poet has written this poem or that poem for this and that purpose, but what do you think as a reader, as a student, as a person about that poem is also very important. So all these things are there which we need to focus on. And remember, today we are going to see the appreciation of the second poem which we learnt in the last lecture. Can you name the poem? Yes, the name of the poem is Indian Weavers, written by Sarojini Naidu. Now we will analyze this poem from the board's point of view, what actually they want from us. Now first point, see on your screen, about the poem, poet, and title. If you remember the poem, when I took that poem, in that PPT, it was on the first page itself, it was written about the poet and its theme. But now today also, here we will see in a different way. See, as you know that the poetess Sarojini Naidu, she is considered as the Nightingale of India by Mahatma Gandhi himself. So Mahatma Gandhi named her or gave this title to Sarojini Naidu as the Nightingale of India for her literary work in the field of poetry. She is very well known poet till date. She was a political leader, an activist, and the first lady governor of India. And above of this information, she was a die-hard patriot. So this is all about the poet. If you see the title is always important, whether it's a poem or a lesson. Even if you go and watch any movie or any drama or any serial for that matter, titles are always important because the title will give us some idea of that particular content before we actually deal with it. So whether it's a poem, lesson or any other maybe novel, drama, title is very important. Title is a self-suggestive thing in itself. With the help of title, we come to know or we come to analyze something about the content before we could actually go to the content. So Indian viewers can be break in two sections, Indian and viewers. Now see what the title is about. Now the title of the poem shows two prominent aspects of Indian identity. They are weavers and their Indian identity. The hard-working artisans of India. Yes, in the poem, when we were dealing with poem, we saw some of the artisans, including yourself, if you remember. So, weavers are the artisans of India. Artisans are the people who do their work with their skilled hands. So this is it about the title. And now see, the poem is a salute. Now we are coming to the theme of the poem. But before that, see what is the poem is about. This poem is a salute to Indian working class. In addition to it, she beautifully described, she means Sarojini Naidu, described the three stages of life, and they are childhood, adulthood and the old age or the death. Now see what is the theme about. Fact. Theme of the poem. The poem is about a day in weaver's life where they are weaving from morning to midnight. And they are weaving for a child, a bride and a dead person. At the end of the poem we can learn that. We can understand that. So one and all we can say that they were working till the midnight from the morning. Happiness for the first stanza, hard work for the second, and sadness for the third stanza are the three different aspects of three different stanzas respectively. So this is about the poem, poet and title. Then we came to theme as well. Now see third one, poetic style. Now third aspect is bit grammatical part of the poem. Again, these are like diamonds or ornaments which made that poetry beautiful. Language and poetic devices used in the poem. Now see, if we talk about this particular poem, the style of the poem is a conversational one. There is a conversation between poetess and the weavers in the question answer pattern. Here the poet is asking the weavers some questions and the weavers are answering them. The beauty of the poem is in small question answer pattern which unfolds the reason of work, mood and the need of the weavers and for whom they are working. So one and all we can say that the language is very lucid, very nice flow is there in that poem, with some metaphors are being used, some imagery is added, best example of alliteration this may be. So this poem can be considered as the best example in terms of imagery, as the figurative language is used by the poet very nicely. Examples of simile is there, then metaphor is also there, alliteration is also there, and most important, the rhyme scheme of the poem is AABB. Now special features. Is there any special feature in the poem? What do you think? If you analyze the poem from the line 1 till the line last, you will find that the poem is with some life philosophy. Yes, the life philosophy is underlined in the poem. Then the rhythm. Rhythm is there with those question answer pattern, with those AABB now rhyme scheme. Symbolism. Symbolism is there. Nothing has been mentioned clearly, to analyze life, death, and other things, or the stages of life. Symbolism is always there. And imagery, which made the poem very, very beautiful or picturesque, you can say. The use of figurative language and imagery. Yes, two things are there: figurative language and imagery to describe the moods of the weavers is depicted nicely. Imagery is used to describe the mood of the weaver in three stanzas. In the first stanza, they were happy. In the second stanza, they were happy and busy. And in the third stanza, they were sad. But all those things are in the form of imagery. All these words are not mentioned. There is no word like happiness. There is no word like busy. There is no word like sad. But all those things came in the poem with some symbols. We need to understand those symbols, and that is what the special feature is about, to understand those symbols. Now this poem talks about three different stages: childhood, adulthood, and old age, or the death. The overall mood of the poem is philosophical, as it talks about the three different stages of life in a different way with the help of weavers' day work. So this poem is with these kind of special features: philosophy, rhythm, symbolism, and imagery. So now coming to next is message. Whether this poem carries any message, values, morals, or something like that. Let's see. What do you think about this? See, one should work the way weavers are working, regardless of age, status, and reward. If you see from the first stanza to the third stanza, those people are working from the first light of the day till the midnight, moonlight, without any appreciation, expectation of any appreciation, without any materialistic gain, without any reward, any status, or for whom they are working. They are working tirelessly, consistently, constantly. One should live the life with all its different aspects like happiness, hard work, and sadness. What is the message of the poem? Two messages are there. One is one should work the way these people, weavers, are working, without any expectation from the people for whom they are working, or the life with all its different aspects like happiness, hard work, and sadness. So these are the two messages we can get from the poem. We should live like weavers, and we should live the life with all its things which are happiness, hard work, and sadness. Now all these things are there. Now this is what I said about the poem. This is what I think about the poem. This is what the poetess thought about the poem. But what do you think about the poem? What is your own opinion about the poem? That is also counted. Now when you talk about the poetic appreciation, all these things are important. What are they? First point, about the poem, poet, and title. Second is theme. Third is poetic style, language, and poetic devices, grammatical aspects most often. Special features, if any. Message, if any. And last but not the least is your opinion about the poem. Now as far as I concern, you may differ with me, because it is everyone's understanding. It is up to your understanding in what way you look at the poem. But as far as I concern, the poem salutes the Indian workers, especially Indian weavers, for their constant work. Consistently they are working. If you see the poem, they are working from the morning to the midnight. It also gives us the life philosophy of living the life. In what way we should live the life. in what way we should live the life is also being highlighted in this poem. So one and all, we can say that all these 6 points are there to write the appreciation. Now I hope you people have understood what do you mean by appreciation. When you write such answer in the question paper or in the board examination, you should remember that all these points are to be taken care of. So as many as 6 points are there. I hope you people have understood this poem and the appreciation, and looking forward to your response to the next poem, because possibly for the next poem we are not going to give you appreciation, but you are supposed to write your appreciation, and then you will show us, or you will send your answers to us on that question of particular poem which we are going to take in the next lecture. So let's hope that you people have understood this poem properly and the appreciation of the poem. Thank you so much.